You were never satisfied with Ben Affleck's casting. You were never satisfied with Heath Ledger's casting. It seems like we can't please you people.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Welcome everybody, I'm RJ of The Nerdy Brew, and here on this channel we talk TV, movies, and everything in between, all while drinking a cup of coffee. Now if you like one of those things or all of those things, why don't you consider like, subscribing, and hit that notification bell and becoming a fellow Brewster. So today, fellow Brewsters, this is going to be a top 10 actors who should be Dr. Doom. Now, a lot of these actors have a similar look. A lot of these actors are European, and I just wanted to deal with character accuracy. Now, if this video does well, I'll go beyond and do diversity, equity, and inclusion casting. But right now, I just want to go with the aesthetic of actors who could play Dr. Doom in the MCU or should have been cast, not going back to the gimmick casting of RDJ. And I'll talk about it and I'll give all my feelings about it there. And I'll link it at the end of the video as well. So let's get on to the list. Number 10, Matthias Schoenaerts. Now, Matthias Schoenaerts, he was in the movie The Old Guard, Red Sparrow, The Drop, Blood Ties, and currently the last thing I saw him on was The Rain, or recently on HBO. Now for him, he's been an actor, a bit actor who showed up time and time again. He shows his face, and he hasn't broken off the barrier of like leading man just yet, but he's always around and he's always working. The movie that I recognize him most in is The Drop, and that was a movie with Tom Hardy, and he played this thug who was harassing the female role, Naomi Rapace, in that movie, and he was braggadocious and he was a bully, he was a thug, and he was living on a lie, and Tom Hardy called him out on that lie, and that changed a lot of the dynamic in his arc as a character. So that's where I know him from, The Drop. But he was one of the old guards in the movie The Old Guard that was on Netflix with Charlize Theron. So that's where you can see his work, and that's who he is. That's my number 10, Matthias Schoenaerts. Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese. Now, he is from New Zealand, but he is a very versatile actor. Now, Martin Scorsese, right? He was in Lord of the Rings. He was married to Galadriel. He was in Triple X. He played he was Yorkie, the leader of Anarchy 99, and he was Into the Badlands, who was the antagonist in that show. Me and Couch Guy loved that show. We was watching it back to back, and Couch Guy was the one that really helped me with this list because he has very good versatile range. He's played a European before, and the thing about me harking on Dr. Doom being European, he's from a fictional land called Latveria, which is in the Romania area inside the Marvel Universe. And so, you know, we just want somebody who could get from there. But, you know, he does travel to America. His accent does get tapered down just a little bit. Or we could have the full-fledged, you know, the full-fledged thing, or we can make him British, whatever the case may be, just a well-traveled man. That doesn't really matter, but more with this list is more about aesthetic. But number 9 is Martin Scorsese as Victor Von Doom. Number 8, Richard Armitage. Now, Richard Armitage, he was in The Hobbits. He played the lead, not Bilbo, but he was Thorin, the leader dwarf who was suffering from dragon madness. He was also in Hannibal. He was in the 3rd season of Hannibal. He had a fantastic role in Hannibal, and I just can't say so much because I don't want to spoil anything. But he had a wonderful performance within the show of Hannibal, and he also played my boy Trevor Belmont in Castlevania, providing the voice. And there was it's recorded, but he did this stage play of the Crucible and he played John Proctor, and he just puts all his acting sensibilities and all his acting prowess into that role, which was very powerful. And John Proctor is a complicated character, and I wouldn't compare to Daniel Day. Was it Daniel Day-Lewis? It was Daniel Day-Lewis. But compare those two. But for him in his own of crafting into that production, he did a great job. So my number 8, Richard Armitage as Victor Von Doom. Number 7, Nikolaj Coster-Waldau. Now, Nikolaj Coster-Waldau was Jaime Lannister, the King Slayer in Game of Thrones. And for me, his role as Jaime Lannister was a very versatile role. For him to have his villainous ways early on in the first season, and then showing his humanity and showing his vulnerability, showing his compassion, showing his heroics. I'm not trying to spoil anything for the show, but certain things that he's done with certain people, building certain bonds and certain relationships, just would be a good placement to put on Dr. Doom, because in all honesty, Dr. Doom has some sorrow within his past. Dr. Doom may be maniacal. Dr. Doom may be a megalomaniac. But all in all, he has his purpose for the human race and the people in Latveria. So to see that versatility, and he was in this movie called Shot Caller. I think he did a wonderful performance in Shot Caller. There's this movie with Jamie Foxx that he's in called God is a Bullet. I haven't seen that yet, but that movie is on my list to watch, and I liked him. He played a supporting role in Oblivion, the movie with Tom Cruise, but mainly from his work as Jaime Lannister, I could see him moving on. And also, this is a choice from the internet as well. So definitely number 7, Nikolaj Coster-Waldau. Now my number 6 is Ben Barnes. Now Ben Barnes was Prince Caspian from The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe series, The Chronicles of Narnia. Then we also have The Punisher. He played the antagonist in that show, but he was also the best friend to Frank Castle, who was played by John Barenthal. He was in Westworld. He had a very charismatic kind of performance in Westworld. He was in Stardust, and he was also in the Portrait of Dorian Gray. And I follow his work. He's also currently a spokesman for T-Mobile.
Has this happened to you? AT&T and Verizon rope you in with phone offers, then bind you to a 3-year device contract. Break free with T-Mobile. Introducing Go 5G Plus, the first plan that always gives new and existing customers the same great device deals, and you're upgrade ready a year earlier. Right now, bring your phone to T-Mobile and get one of the latest 5G smartphones free. Hello? Yes, I'm free. And so are you.
That came out earlier this year. And yeah, I just think that he would be another good nomination to play the role of Victor Von Doom. So number 6, Ben Barnes. Number 5. Now, if you this is your first time seeing me or haven't been here, or if you haven't followed any of my work, Luke Evans. Now, for me, Luke Evans, if I was a producer in Hollywood, a creative in Hollywood, if I was able to have my hand in it, Luke Evans would be my guy who I would always work with. I think he's an underrated talent and an underrated worker. So I will always have Luke Evans. He played Gaston in the remake or the live action of Beauty and the Beast. I loved his villainous role in Fast 6. He was in that. I enjoyed his performance in there.
When I was young, my brother always used to say, every man has to have a code. Mine, precision. A team is nothing but pieces you switch out until you get the job done. It's efficient. It works. But you're loyal to a fault. Your code is about family. And that's great in the holidays, but it makes you predictable. And in our line of work, predictable means vulnerable. And that means I can reach out and break you whenever I want.
I talked about it once before, and his work as Dracula, and his number 5 will lead into my number 4. But yeah, I just feel like Luke Evans is an underrated talent. I feel like he takes the craft seriously, and I would just love to see him branch out. And I think that a meaty role for Victor Von Doom will be a role that's good enough for him to participate in, or to be a part of, or to have. So yes, Luke Evans, number 5. That would be my choice for Victor Von Doom. Number 4, speaking of Dracula, Jonathan Rhys Meyers. Now, Jonathan Rhys Meyers, I talked about it once before. Yes, this is synergy. Yes, I'm also promoting my other work, but I talked about him in a video I talked about before, about Dracula 2013, and his performance in that. But the thing about Jonathan Rhys Meyers was in The Tudors. He did an excellent job in The Tudors, and because his unstable and versatile and disgusting role as the monarch, I think he was one of the Henrys in The Tudors, and because him being in The Tudors made me watch the show. So definitely his acting range is not a problem. I feel like he's a man of a certain age to be a contemporary off of Pedro Pascal. And I also feel like, you know, he's got a lot of his acting credits. Like, we don't see him much often thrown up in the fanfare a lot, but if you look at his IMDb, that man is constantly working. And I said I loved his work in that Dracula show of 2013. And I also felt like he's underutilized in a lot of things. I felt like they gave him a disservice inside of Vikings. I was so excited, and they gave him so much build up in the show of Vikings, and you thought that he was gonna be this menacing, imposing this threat, but then he ends up becoming a boy toy for Lagatha. So I just felt like that was underutilized for him as an actor. But all in all, you know, Jonathan Rhys Meyers, I feel like, you know, I was trying to figure out this list about like who would be top 5, number 4. He came into my mind later. But I still think that he's a good idea to be in there. So yeah, definitely number 4, Jonathan Rhys Meyers. Number 3, that's what it could be. I need for you to look at me, twiddle dee, he bars, right? Henry Cavill. I talk about Henry Cavill. I talk about Henry Cavill on the channel. I like Henry Cavill, and I feel like this one line that he did in Batman v Superman, I felt like that was menacing enough to have the nomination of Victor Von Doom.
If I wanted it, you'd be dead already.
Now, also, this is a nomination from my friend. We've done a lot of shows together, podcasts. Done podcasts, and we talk regularly. My friend Robert. You see him in the comments too if you happen to visit his channel. But Robert, he picked Henry Cavill, and I was like, when he said that, I was like, yo, that's ideal casting. Like, just to see him outside of the role of Superman. And then he did Count of Monte Cristo. Shout out to Couch God. And yeah, his work in Immortals. Yeah, I just felt like, and then this man is massive. Like, he's a swole dude. Very much inspirational for me. I'm trying to get there one day. And I just felt like, and then in real life, this man builds computers. He builds computers in real life, and I just feel like that's a good basis to already have for Victor Von Doom. So yeah, number 3, Henry Cavill for Victor Von Doom. Number 2, Theo James. Now, Theo James, you might know him from Divergent series. I think that was like my first time seeing Theo James. Theo James pops up, but he's an actor who takes his craft seriously, and he always adds weight. Most recently, he was in The Gentleman on Netflix, and I just loved his performance in that. And in that show, he plays a son who inherited a large estate, but the family needs funding to remain in that lavish lifestyle. So he gets intertwined with the criminal underworld inside of London, and he's just trying to manage that situation. And I just definitely enjoyed his performance in that. Most recently as well, he did the voice of Bastion, and he was also in Castlevania, and he played Hector. He played Hector. So he's very versatile, able to work within the role that he needs. And for him playing Bastion, and he has some gravitas with him, and also being a handsome individual also helps for Dr. Doom, because Dr. Doom has his vanity before he even gets scarred, and that just leads into more of his psyche of being a broken individual. And because with being so vain and into your looks, I think having a handsome individual such as Theo James lends into that. So definitely my number 2, Theo James. Number 1, Cillian Murphy. Now, Cillian Murphy, he was in 28 Days Later. That was the first time I saw him. He was in Inception. He was in Sunshine, Peaky Blinders, Thomas Shelby, and then the Dark Knight trilogy, and most recently Oppenheimer. And I talk about Oppenheimer on the channel. That was my number 1 favorite movie of last year. I might link it somewhere because of synergy as well. You know what I'm saying? Let me promote myself. I want you to come along and join the channel. But yes, Cillian Murphy. But this is also from the internet, and the internet spawned off a good idea, and then that happens once in a while from the internet. The internet can be savage, but once in a while, you don't have to harp too bad on the internet. And I must say, Cillian Murphy is an ideal casting. Cillian Murphy would be my number 1. And then especially the torture, the torment, the way that he played in Oppenheimer to be removed. Loved it. His work in the Dark Knight trilogy, when he first showed up to Falcone in the mental ward at Arkham.
Well, I already know what he'll say. That we should kill you.
Even he can't get me in here. Not in my town.
Would you like to see my mask? I use it in my experiments. Probably not very frightening to a guy like you, but these crazies, they can't stand it.
So when did the nut take over the nut house?
They scream and they cry. Which is your day now? Well, he's not faking. Not that one. I'll talk to the judge and see if I can get him moved to the secure wing at our...
His brokenness, how he wanted to be validated by his father in Inception, shows that the parental resentment and the parental issues that Dr. Doom would still need, because he was removed without his family. His 2 parental figures is hard for him. You know what I mean? So that level of that kind of weight, he already would know how to deal with that. So that's my number 1, Cillian Murphy. So those are my top 10 choices who I would choose. And it would, for me, even though I said 10 through 1 or 1 through 10, it would have to be an audition. I think any one of these individuals would give a stellar performance that I would never be upset in their casting in regards to playing Victor Von Doom. So that's why I'm really baffled that we missed out on, and it has nothing to do with RDJ's performance. RDJ is a versatile actor all in himself. Tropic Thunder, Chaplin, Natural Born Killers, U.S. Marshals, The Singing Detective. Watch The Sympathizer on HBO. He plays multiple roles in that show. He plays a dude disguised as a dude playing another dude more than once in that show. Yeah, he has a lot of range. He has a lot of range as an actor, so it has nothing to do with that. But these are just alternatives who I feel like who would fit more into the mold of Dr. Doom more than RDJ. And also, I don't care about 2 storylines where Tony Stark was involved with Dr. Doom or Dr. Doom is Iron Man. Like, I don't care about none of that. Like, no, keep the authenticity of the character. You know, well, there was one that was a what if. Do you know about the what if? I don't care about that what if. I don't care about the what if. I know Dr. Doom. I know a real Dr. Doom. And I would just want to keep it as my man. It's Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom. Let's put some respect on his name, and I don't want to say it no more.
Nigga, when my name come up, respect it.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my fucking name. All 3 of y'all, stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more. Put some respect on my name. You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
I'm done. Thank you for visiting with me. Thank you for taking this time out to have a cup of coffee with me. And I'm so glad that you're here. And I hope plenty more successful days for you. And I hope whatever that you're going through, you get past it. And I appreciate you. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. But who would you choose as Victor Von Doom? And do you like this list? Do you disagree with this list? Whatever. But I'm gonna bring this video to an end, and I want you to be you, do you, see the bigger picture, have a fantastic day because you deserve it. This is that channel. Peace.
Mouth on top, Kung Fu, Bruce Lee chop, moon rocks, no Red Sox, tryna go far like Boondocks, headshot, blunt stay high, talking shit, gotta pull up on they block, you fraud, I'm couch guard, nigga got a tax like a state charge, safe house, safe house, safe house, safe house.